Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today at the first live English for All with the US Embassy. My name is Ladi Beranek, and I'm the new information officer, also known as the press attaché at the US Embassy here in Armenia. So first of all, let me introduce Lilith Termendjian, who will guide you through this 10-week English course on the US Embassy Facebook page. Lilith will cover a number of different topics throughout the next weeks, and let me tell you, they are great. I rewatched most of the videos, all of the videos actually, and learned a number of great things myself. And what I personally like about your lessons, Lilith, is that they combine the English words and phrases with the cultural context, which I think is so important. So thank you so much for all your work on this. It's an exciting project which our followers will find very useful. So the first topic that Lilith will cover today is saying hello. A simple thing you may say, but really, really important, because when you think about it, every single conversation starts with a hello, with a greeting. It may be a hello, a good morning, perhaps a what's up among friends. There are so many ways to say hello. So let Lilith be your guide. So again, thank you so much for being here. And if you find this useful, please like this post, share it with your friends, or leave a comment. We appreciate it. But now let me pass the word to you, Lily. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me, and that's a great pleasure and honor to me to be here and to host our audience at English for All English classes with the U.S. Embassy Yerevan. And as Ladi said, if you're intended to follow our classes, please go online to the U.S. Embassy Yerevan Facebook page. Please click the like button and follow us. And please follow us every Monday and Thursday to learn many things about everyday conversational situations you may find yourself in. So, as you already know from the teaser, that was released on Monday. Today we're going to talk about greetings, and wherever you go and whoever you interact with, the first thing you do is generally you greet people. And greetings are really significant in any conversation, as they mostly set the scene and the mood for the flow of the conversation. And as I said in the video, depending on the intimacy level with your interlocutor, your greeting and the wording of the greeting may be quite different and may have different emotional colorings. So probably the most official and the most reserved greeting I have ever heard is "How do you do?" Right? And actually this is not a question. That's a greeting, right? Because some people quite often mistake it for just a question, and they answer back by telling how they are and by telling about their well-being. But actually, that's a greeting, right? And when you're greeted with that official and reserved form by saying "How do you do?", all you have to do is just answer "How do you do?" with a very serious and official expression of the face by saying just "How do you do?" And if you're introduced to somebody yet unknown to you, you can say "It's a pleasure to meet you." Or you also can say "It's my pleasure to meet you." And if you hear that expression, like "It's a pleasure to meet you," how would you react, Ladi? What would you answer back?
I think my answer would be, it's a pleasure to meet you as well.
As well, exactly, yes. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. Or I would also say "It's my pleasure." And if you remember during the video that was released again on Monday, so I was talking about the word of "to," right? So you can just mirror the expression back by saying "It's pleased to know you too," right? So this is a simple way to answer. And an official greeting may be accompanied with a handshake,
That's right.
like this, and with a nice smile. And you can further develop the greeting by the expressions of "How are things with you?" How are things with you, right? Or you can also say "How are you getting on?" How are you getting on? What would be your answer?
I would probably say quite well, thank you.
And you could also say,
Or I'm fine, thank you.
yeah,
I'm doing fine.
I'm doing fine, thank you. And you can be sure that whatever you say is really on the official level. If you are already acquainted with the person, and to keep the conversation on the official yet amiable note, you can say, it's a long time since I saw you last. It's a long time since I saw you last. And mind the difference between the same meaning but expressed in different wording. So it's a long time since I saw you last versus long time no see, or it's been a while. What's your impression of those expressions?
I would say a long time no see is much more informal than it's a long time since I saw you last.
Yeah, that's my feeling too. And if you pay attention, even the wording is different, the style is different. And this means that the intimate greetings have their own style and wording, and they are of no less importance than the official ones. And they are used more often because we mostly interact with the family members, with friends, right? And in case of the official greetings, we stick to very specific speaking etiquette. In case of non-official ones, we're more relaxed and the style is free and the constructions are less sticky, and non-official greetings allow and leave a lot of space for contractions, which means that if you're among your friends, you can just say, correct me if I'm wrong, so you could say just hey or just hi, right?
That's right.
And you also can say, what's up? Or the short version of what's up, that is sup, right?
That's right. Can I add one more?
Yeah, sure.
You can also say, what's up?
Yeah, exactly, with a very specific expression and the tone, right?
That one is very informal.
Yeah, and mostly, as far as I have observed in the United States in general among the native speakers, sup is mostly used among younger generation. That's more like a slangish expression, right?
That is correct.
Okay, one of the expressions that I have come across a lot and which is very widely circulated is, how's it going? How's it going? Right? And the expression of how is it going intends to ask about your well-being, about your job, about your health, about general state of things in your life, right? And I would say, for example, if I hear that, I would say, great. What would you say?
I would say, just fine, or pretty good, not bad.
I would also say, for example, it's all good. But sometimes you're not that very well. You're not that well, and you could say, for example, not well. But if you hear the expression of not well, you should be ready to give explanation why you're not very well, because most probably you will be asked that question. So you need to be ready to expand on the to expand on the question. So another way to be informal would be, how you doing, right?
That's right.
And which one is more frequently used? How you doing, or how's it going?
I think it very much depends on the context. And like you said, with young people, they will probably use more, how you doing? But I think how are you doing is something that you can use in a slightly more formal setting. That would be my guess.
Yeah, well, because as I said, in case of non-official greetings, we mostly use contractions, and if we compare how's it go, how you doing, and how are you doing, we leave out the auxiliary of are, right? How you doing. So if you hear such a greeting, that would be natural if you said quite well, or you could say doing fine, again with a contracted version, like doing fine. Instead of saying I am doing fine, you can just go with doing fine, or pretty good, right? And if you're among your friends, close friends, what is the most typical thing you would hear?
I think what's up could be one, as we mentioned before. What's new?
Mm-hmm.
What's up with you?
Mm-hmm. You could also hear an expression like, what have you been up to these days?
Mm-hmm.
Or even without these days, just what have you been up to? And the typical answer might be, same old, if you're among your friends, right? Mind that your expression of the face should be corresponding. So you could say, same old. Or you could say, you could also say nothing much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any other form that you would come up with?
Yeah, similar to nothing much. You could also say not much, especially if you don't really want to continue the conversation.
You want to cut it short.
If you want to cut it short, exactly.
Yeah. Another thing is that, for example, if you're in an environment where you are provided a service, that can be, for example, with a teller in a bank or with a shop assistant, there is a very important detail that you need to be attentive with. So if you're in the United States and if a teller in a bank or a shop assistant tells you, how's it going? Or what's up? Well, as far as I understood, you don't need to answer like, I'm not doing very well because, there are some problems with my work, etc. You don't need to expand that much. Rather, that's a greeting. Okay, so they're not asking about how you are, how your health or life is, right? Instead, they are just greeting you, right? And what would be a correct answer? What do you think? How do you answer?
You could say just what's up back to them, or say, well, thanks, and just continue. So I don't think that there is one right answer, but you are absolutely right. They are not trying to start a conversation. They are greeting you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would also add the expressions of hey or just hi, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I just wanted to ask you to come up with your questions if you have any. I would be really happy. We would be really happy to answer the questions if you have any, okay? You can leave them in the comments field of this very video. And another interesting thing that I observed is that when you want to show enthusiasm when you meet someone, right? And if you're among your friends or if you're among very, close people, you can say, look who's here. Or if you're asked like how are you in your close surrounding, you can just say, couldn't be better, if you want to show your enthusiasm, if you want to show that you're really happy to see the person. So couldn't be better, or never felt better in my life. I would be really happy if someone told me like something like that. How about your feelings?
Absolutely. I mean, it would be nice to hear. Usually you just hear good, okay, but never felt better in my life sounds like a great answer to me.
Exactly, the same as with me. And sometimes you're greeted by somebody, you appear in a situation when you're greeted by somebody and you recognize the person, but you don't really remember the setting where you know the person from, or you don't remember the name. Did it ever happen to you?
Unfortunately, it did, yes.
How did you react?
I think it depends on situation a little bit, but you could just simply say, I can't place your face.
Yes, I can't place your face. I can't place you. That would also be my answer. Well, I want you to mind the Armenian version. So, for example, in Armenian, in an official setting, right, we would say, Չեմ մտաբերում որտեղից եմ ձեզ հիշում. That would be the official one for I can't place you. While in the non-official format, you would say տեղը չեմ բերում. So the English versions for both of these expressions would be like I can't place you. And sometimes you're in a setting that, for example, you're at a party or at a conference break or somewhere else, and you have to get engaged in a short talk. but you still have the intention to go on speaking to that person later. So in Armenian, we would say կխոսենք, նորից կխոսենք կամ էլի կհանդիպենք. So how would you, what is the English, what do you think, what is the English form, how should the Americans say or greet a person who they want to talk a bit later?
They could say something, let's catch up later, or let's continue our conversation in a little bit.
Oh, good, good. That sounds interesting. While in Armenian, we would say հետո նորից կհանդիպենք. So look the difference between the English catch up later and the Armenian նորից կխոսենք կամ էլի կհանդիպենք, right? But mind that whatever you say, whoever you greet, my personal perception is that if you want to appear polite and make a positive impression, first of all, your greeting should be cheerful and it should be accompanied with a smile, right? Mm-hmm. What other nonverbal reactions would you add up to what I said?
I think a smile is very important. Eye contact is very important as well. Mm-hmm. Eye contact, I think, is key.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and a friendly attitude, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Yeah. If you want to come across as a friendly person, yes, you should have a friendly attitude.
Yes, exactly. If you fail to follow our live sessions, you can always find the recordings of the lessons at the U.S. Embassy Yerevan Facebook page, and the link will be posted in the comments field. So you're welcome to watch them whenever you want, and now you're welcome to come up with your questions if there are any. If no, then that was very nice talking to you, Ladi. Thank you for providing all of those tips. We have a question from Gore, which says, how often are you planning to be on it? If you mean the length of the classes, then that would be around 2 months and a half, right?
Exactly. I believe 10 weeks exactly. We have 10 videos ready for you, mm-hmm. and 10 follow-up live sessions.
Mm-hmm. So probably until some mid part of November, you will have these classes, and that will be our pleasure to join you and answer your questions and cover all the things that you would like to hear. So, anything to add that you would like to say?
Again, if you found this useful, I would just encourage you to like this. You know, if some questions come to you after this is over, please leave some comments in the comment section, and you know we can get to them later. And it's been a real pleasure. So.
Yeah, that was a real pleasure for us, and during the whole week you can leave your questions, and you can be sure that all of your questions are going to be answered. So thank you for joining us, and we're looking forward to seeing you all next time. So stay tuned, and thank you for joining.
Thank you.